An LA wrestling ring. The son of former UFC champion Quinton "Rampage" Jackson is accused of brutally beating a wrestler.
The victim, Stuart Smith, is still recovering in the hospital.
A situation like Raj, it's not going to work because the injury and the scope of what occurred was so far beyond the scope. This is a crime, and Raj Jackson, as much as I love him and his father, are in a lot of trouble.
People give me death threats and stuff like that. Like, I'm a fucking master. Calling me a bad father.
Raja Jackson, the son of Rampage Jackson, is now facing 10 years in prison. Yes, you heard that right. The incident just happened in Los Angeles during a boxing event that was streaming on Kick. A serious injury left the victim in critical condition, making the situation even worse. Now it's being considered as attempted murder and causing serious bodily injury. That's why the LAPD has investigated the situation, and this is now a final moment before prison for Raja Jackson. So what's going on? What is the court saying right now? Let's watch till the end. So what actually happened in the incident? In a recent boxing event in Los Angeles, Rampage Jackson's son Raja Jackson violently attacked a man named Syko Stu during a live stream on Kick. The whole thing started over a prop beer can. While acting in character as part of a skit, Stu jokingly smashed a fake can over Raja's head. It was really just a small misunderstanding. In fact, Stu apologized 3 times and even gave Raja a hug, but Raja couldn't let it go, and that's when things took a violent turn.
In the ring, Raja Jackson body slams wrestler Stuart Smith, known as Syko Stu. The 25-year-old then throws multiple punches to Smith's head, even as the wrestler appears unconscious on the mat.
Raja Jackson attacks Stu from behind, landing 27 consecutive punches. Even after Stu lost consciousness, Raja continued to strike him. The assault caused severe injuries. Stu's facial bones were broken, several of his teeth were knocked out, and he suffered a serious head injury that left him temporarily in a coma. According to reports, most of his teeth were destroyed, his brain was swollen, he had difficulty walking, and his memory was significantly impaired.
The victim, Stuart Smith, is still recovering in the hospital, according to his brother, who posted on social media that he is stable but receiving critical care. Meantime, LAPD is involved in this case, and the venue where this all happened said this is reprehensible and never should have occurred.
Can you just imagine how dangerous this situation is? This streaming event could be considered criminal for the people involved. Literally, now a celebrity is involved in attempted murder, and the damage is serious. What happened then has become very concerning on the internet, and people of all kinds are now worried about this situation.
When I first saw what happened, I was completely shocked and stunned and felt terrible for the guy. The impact is real. We're just prepared. And Stu was not prepared for what was about to happen because it wasn't part of the work.
So now the legal issue is whether Raja Jackson's actions could completely destroy his career. And yes, that's right. Reports suggest that Raja Jackson could face 10 years in jail, along with additional charges, and even a civil lawsuit could be applied here. Even the lawyers are expressing concern about this issue.
And if you're playing a game like hockey or football or fighting like in the UFC or in wrestling, you're consenting to this, right? That's the defense that people think is the appropriate one. That may work, but in a situation like Raj, it's not going to work because the injury and the scope of what occurred was so far beyond the scope of the consent. It's so far beyond the scope of the game that it is no longer a game. You're no longer consenting to the touching or the contact that happens during the scope of that particular conduct or match, again, like a wrestling match or a UFC fight or a football game. Now it's criminal.
Not only that, but the lawyers also confirmed that Raja Jackson and his father, Rampage Jackson, could face even more trouble because the evidence is so strong. This is clearly a criminal case, and all the charges will fully apply to Raja Jackson.
Absolutely 110%. This is criminal. This is a battery or possibly really an aggravated battery, depending on the state. The injuries are relatively severe, and the evidence is very, very strong. You really don't have much of a defense in this situation to say that, oh, he consented to it and this is part of the game, right? This is part of the match. This goes beyond the scope. This is a crime, and Raj Jackson, as much as I love him and his father, are in a lot of trouble.
So according to the reports and the law, let's see what kind of consequences Raja Jackson could face. As you can see, the reports indicate that Raja Jackson is in serious legal trouble in Los Angeles. For attempted murder, he could spend 5 to 9 years in state prison or even face life with parole if special circumstances apply. On top of that, his brutal assault could add another 2 to 4 years plus fines of up to $10,000. But the consequences don't stop there. The victim could file a civil lawsuit demanding compensation for medical bills, lost wages, and even punitive damages, potentially reaching millions of dollars. If convicted, Raja could face strict parole conditions, mandatory counseling, and property lien. In short, this isn't just a criminal case. It could destroy his freedom, finances, and future. But as of now, these charges can be added, even though the police have not yet arrested him. Yes, you heard that right. People are heavily criticizing the authorities for not taking immediate action while the victim is in serious trouble. Some creators are calling it a failure of the authorities, saying they have not taken proper responsibility. You can see all of this in the video.
What kind of world do we live in where Raja Jackson is still a free man in society? Everyone's seen the clip of him beating up this unconscious man to the point where we didn't know if he was gonna make it. That was Saturday night and this man still hasn't been arrested. Only reports is that the LAPD is launching an investigation. Sorry, what is there to investigate? Everything you need to know was literally live streamed for the world to see. There's even video evidence of after the incident, him outside showing zero remorse, basically bragging that he's some tough guy. What else is there to investigate? There's no way that this was part of the show, okay? He beat an unconscious veteran of the United States to a pulp, to where we didn't even know if this dude was gonna make it. Arrest him.
So definitely people like Raja Jackson should face consequences. If they don't actually face them, they could harm more people in the future. Even random members of the public could get injured. Another thing is that Rampage Jackson is also in serious trouble over this situation. He is facing a lot of criticism and controversy, and as you can hear from his own words, he literally doesn't want to stay on camera.
Anything to say about, and you know, first of all, really sorry. We're really sorry about the whole situation.
You know that. I wish I could.
Yeah. I just wanted to see if there was any updates.
All I can say is a lot of racist people give me death threats and stuff like that. Like, I'm a fucking master. Calling me a bad boss. It's uncalled for. Anything I say is twisted anyway. So.
Yeah.
I believe that people like Rampage Jackson are actually responsible for this. Some people are saying that he didn't properly guide his son, and that's why Raja Jackson became so reckless. As a father, Rampage Jackson failed to instill responsibility in his son, and now he's facing the consequences he deserves. Remember what Rampage even said about Vitaly Zadorovetsky? Rampage was friends with Vitaly from the beginning, but when Vitaly got into trouble in a Philippine jail, Rampage claimed that Vitaly might never come back from the Philippines.
Like he's just sitting there like...
I was just over there after and everybody was telling me they hate his ass. They said he might get there.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of person Rampage Jackson is. And now, because of his actions, he's just facing the reflection of his own nature. Both he and his son are now being considered criminals from the public's perspective. So guys, what do you think about this whole situation? Will Raja Jackson actually face jail time? Or will they try to cover it up by using money to influence the authorities? As of now, Raja Jackson has not been arrested. What do you think? Let me know.